Okay, good morning YouTube. Another video coming at you today. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison of two of, I have to say, of all the watches that I've been able to own or get my hands on. These are two of my favorite watches. These are my two go-to watches in my collection of Invicta watches that, I mean, it just doesn't get any better in my opinion. The color combo, the style, everything about these watches I absolutely love. And these are ones that I generally tend to wear the most, and these are the ones that get the most wrist time. Again, I love every one of the Invicta watches that I've ever had the opportunity to get my hands on, but these two definitely take the cake for me. I'm a big fan of rose tone and yellow tone combined. That's what this one is. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then, of course, I mean, both these are gigantic watches, okay? So if you're new to my channel and you don't know really what I do, I basically show you, I do watch show and tells, specifically on Invicta watches, but I do review Androids and any watch that I have picked up in my collection or I'm able to get my hands on by sizing it for a friend or a coworker. They let me make a video on it, and it's been really helpful for people to actually, see these watches on the wrist, not like up close with the guy with the white rubber gloves or the white cotton gloves showing you, every detail of the watch. I mean, you can find pictures online all day long for what these watches look like up close. But what makes my videos really special, and not that they're really complicated, is I'm showing you what this watch will look like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. So you get an idea what it's going to look like on you. And that's kind of what held me from buying my first Invicta for so long, was just that fact. I really didn't know what it was going to look like on the wrist. So with that being said, let's get started. This one here is a brand new redesigned Sea Hunter, okay? And this one just came out. Very difficult to get your hands on it. Every now and then one pops up here and there. My buddy just got rid of his. This was a hard one to find. What they've done is they've redesigned the Sea Hunter, and they did what I hoped they would do, and I said they should do. I have another full-size Sea Hunter, and the bezel on the Sea Hunters, on the original ones, have like a rubber ring. And to me, although it is functional, I guess if you were diving with it, I don't know if it's any really more functional than these big giant gear knurlings on here. But yeah, I just never liked the way it looked. You can look at my other videos. I have another one comparing this one and that one side by side, showing the differences. But when they made this change, I had to get this watch because they just did some really cool things. Basically, the band is exactly the same as the original Sea Hunter. The back of the case is exactly the same. You have that exhibition back with the propeller. It does not spin. The crown and pushers are exactly the same. Now I'm going to try to slow down a little bit because one guy commented on one of my videos that I moved the watch around too much. So I want to just kind of give you a couple close-ups here and show you, kind of the detail here. And I do appreciate the comments. I definitely try to make the videos better. I'm up to 650 subscribers, I believe, and they just keep coming and coming. So thank you for that. Keep subscribing if you like the videos. I'm going to keep getting my hands on watches and doing my show and tells. And the reason I call them show and tells is because I don't really, I'm not a watch professional, so I don't really like to call them reviews, even though that's kind of what I'm doing. But they're more basic. Mainly it's just to show you how big the watch, what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. So again, getting back to this watch, the pushers are exactly the same. Let me get a little closer here, as the original Sea Hunter, except what they've done, let me open this up, they put a crown protector on it, which is kind of nice because the other watch, the other Sea Hunter I have, you can get an idea of that, what that looks like there, folds right over. The other Sea Hunter I bought actually because it was I thought it was discontinued and it was really hard to get. It was a combination of rose tone and silver. I got it from Invicta Outlet, which be very careful buying from that website. I bought one watch. I bought this watch from Invicta website, which we'll talk about next. They say that they're lightly scratched. They were display models. Well, of 3 watches I bought from them, 2 I had to send back. One was completely busted up and defective. The other one, I forget what was wrong with that one. That one went back. And then the Sea Hunter that I bought they said it had mild scratches. They never even look at the watches, basically. They just get shipped. So when you email them and say, hey, can you see some close-ups or whatever, they're not going to give them to you. They're basically going to tell you it's light scratches, like on the clasp. And they're not. That Sea Hunter I bought was actually dropped. So it's got a dented crown. One of the pushers is actually stripped. Not all the way. It's still functional, but I don't mess with it too much. I don't want to make it worse. And it's got heavy scratches right on the top of it. So it's definitely dropped. But getting back to my point of bringing that up was that because this crown is, if you were to drop it, it's kind of vulnerable. this crown protector is really beefy. And with that crown protector, that kicks this watch up, if you were to measure it like this all the way to the end, 70 millimeters. This is a tank. What else have they done? They've added the Sea Hunter logo on the back right here with the shark. The rest the same, the band, everything else, except they've changed the bezel, which is probably the biggest positive change to this watch they could have done. They've basically changed the color of the luminescence here, where it's a little bit whiter, okay, rather than like a greenish color, like a light. The other one's kind of a light green. I don't know. They've added a few details on the actual bezel here, but what's nice, they made the bezel bigger, and they made this giant gear like grooves down on the sides. Just a great addition to the watch, and this face is completely redesigned. It's like a skeleton, multi-level face. You can see the depth in there. So let me just show a couple close-ups again so my audience here doesn't get mad at me. Here's a side shot. Here's another side shot. And you can see you have a combination of polishing and satin finish. Okay. This was model number Invicta 18. Let's see here. Whoops, I forgot what it is. 188. What is it? Okay, they make this one in several different colors. I opted the white and black. They make it in a blue, red, and yellow. I thought this one was the nicest of all of them. This is the 18824. Okay, 18824 Invicta. Sorry. Beautiful watch. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the wrist, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison with the other one here. Let me just put this on so I don't have to put it down here. There's what it looked like. I'm a guy about 165 pounds, about 5 foot 8 inches tall, and I have 7-inch wrists. So you can see that watch is extremely large on me. You know, some people comment, oh, it's way too much watch for a guy your size or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. This is all a matter of opinion, folks. Remember, it does not... People wear, you know, you look in the music industry, guys are wearing jewelry that is massive, you know. Big watches are the thing. Big watches say something about your personality. And, again, it's not for everybody. Some guys like a 50 millimeter. Even that's a big watch. This one here is going to measure about 60 millimeters at the bezel, okay? And then 70 millimeters to that crown. So this is the biggest watch that Invicta makes to date. It doesn't get any bigger than this one right here. I call it the Sea Hunter 3 because they've redesigned the Sea Hunter already. They have the original Sea Hunter, which is what I've just compared this to when I told you about that, about the the rubber around the bezel and stuff like that. Then they made one that's like a Sea Hunter 2. That one doesn't come, to my knowledge, with a bracelet band, but it comes with like a rubber strap. Not really a big fan of that one. And then they have a kind of a cheaper Sea Hunter that I'm not really sure what they call that one. But this one should be called the Sea Hunter 3 because it is completely redesigned. Let me get a sip of coffee here, Mike. It's better. So, yeah, I mean, I really hope they make this in more color combos down the road. I mean, if they make this, I said I'm going to take a little break from buying watches for a while, but if they make this in a two-tone, yellow and gold, that's my favorite combination, yellow tone gold and silver tone, or I wish they would do something in a three-tone, silver, yellow, and rose. I haven't seen it yet by Invicta. Hopefully they make something like that, but either way, if they do the two-tone, I'm definitely going to get it. Which brings me to this next watch. Oh, and before I move on here, before I forget here, get off on a tangent, a little bit about the watch. It's powered by the Swiss Ronda Z60 quartz chronograph movement. It is a Swiss-made movement. It's a newer movement that Ronda has come out with. You'll see that a lot more in Invictas. Let me get another close-up there so you can kind of see the face. You know, you have your date window and stuff like that. Pretty standard. You know, most people don't necessarily buy these for, you know, what kind of information they have on the watch. It's all about how it looks on the wrist. I mean, check that bad boy out. I can't. Every time I wear this watch, people just you will get. If you want attention, that's not, again, I like getting a little attention. Everybody does, you know. But I love watches. I love the way I feel when I'm wearing a big, giant, flashy watch. And it's a real conversation starter because people are always like, I have never seen a watch that big. And this next watch I'm going to show you, this one guy one night at the bar saw this and he just kept looking at my wrist and he was like, dude, that watch is amazing. He's like, I can't take my eyes off it. It's like hypnotic. And it was pretty funny, but it's the truth. I mean, these watches, you don't see them everywhere, and you get so much for your money with Invicta watches. It's just amazing. Now, I know there are some people who comment on my videos and they say, oh, Invicta watches suck, they're garbage. You know what? Great, don't buy one. You know, nobody's telling you to buy one. Nobody's selling you one here. I'm just telling you how much I like them. And, you know, 650 subscribers, I'd say a lot of people like them. And it's a, you know, the company's huge. I mean, they're mass producing timepieces. Invicta doesn't say they make the best watch on earth. You know, I mean, you're bound to get one that's. I mean, I've had a couple that have been defective. It happens. You know, some people bring up the Better Business rate, the Better Business Bureau rating. They have a terrible rating. Well, great. Well, of all the Invicta watches I purchased, I've had very few, I mean, none that had any problems other than cosmetic stuff, which was, you know, by the seller being dishonest. So I've had great luck with them. Don't let people discourage you from getting this kind of quality. And if you go to my website, PHATKATWatch.com, let me just drop that in there real quick. I'll usually put that in the description and at the end of my video. But you know, go there, check out these watches, and there's reputable sellers on there and links to reputable sellers where you're protected. A lot of them are going to go through eBay, and you're always protected with PayPal and eBay. And most of the guys who are selling stuff on eBay, as long as you buy from somebody with a good seller rating, if you have a problem, they're going to take care of you. Now, you are going to have a delay in, you know, getting your money back and sending it back, and it is a hassle. But you know what? You're not going to lose your money. Again, before I run off on a tangent here, a little more about it. This watch weighs 17 ounces unsized. It's over a pound. Now, I think it's a little heavier. I haven't weighed it yet, but I think it's a little heavier than 17. As far as the band width, it's 8 3/4 inches in length, and 30 millimeters in width. So if you're a big guy, you have plenty of links to be able to size that to your liking, of course. If that made any sense, what I'm saying. 23 millimeters in case thickness. It is one of the thickest watches that Invicta makes as well. If you are going for the big watch thing, this is the watch you need to get. Now, it's going to be hard to get because they're selling out like crazy, so I was lucky enough to pick one up right when it happened. My coworker picked one up. He just put it on eBay and sold it because he's got some stuff coming up, so he figured he'd just take the money and run. What else about this one here? You do have 990 feet of water resistance, and of course, all the rest applies, screw down pushers, all that stuff. So let's move on to the next one here. Again, my second favorite watch that Invicta makes. This one is the Grand Arsenal, or called the Grand Octane. The watch is actually called the Grand Arsenal, but you will see it sold under the name Grand Octane. And one gentleman said because something about the copywriting octane, but I don't think you can copyright the word octane. So I'm not really sure if that's true or not. It's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that you find it and buy it. There's a close-up of this one. This one here is another massive watch. 63 millimeters is what this watch measures all the way to the crown protector. 58 millimeters at the bezel, and you're looking at about 18 millimeters in thickness. Not as thick as the Sea Hunter, but a beautiful watch. One of the few watches they make in a two-tone yellow and rose tone finish. I mean, this watch is beautiful. I mean, if you want a flashy watch and you like the gold, you can't go wrong with this watch. The only other watch that Invicta makes, to my knowledge, that's this nice in a two-tone is the Venom. And I bought the Venom from that seller, Invicta Outlet, and I got it, and the watch was totally defective. The band was like falling off, the pins were falling out, and obviously they never even looked at the watch. And I did send it back, I got my money, and check out my other video, it's Invicta Nightmare or something like that. You can see how beautiful it is. And that one was done in a full polish rose tone and yellow, which was really neat because, you know, this one here, it's almost hard to see sometimes that it is a two-tone because you have the yellow gold is actually like a matte finish. So you can kind of see that there is a difference. But if you get back, you might just think it's a gold watch, depending on how you look at it. But the Venom actually was very noticeable because it was all polished, and you could really tell it was a two-tone watch. But this one here, I have to say, like, this one here, just based on the color combo, is my favorite watch. I mean, when I want to get dressed up and really, like, put on something that's really going to get noticed, it's, you know, this one's beautiful too. It's going to get noticed for the sheer size. But this watch here, I mean, it's just blinging, you know. Let me show you a couple close-ups here. You have the engraving on the side. You see that yellow gold. Then you have a rose tone bezel and yellow gold in the middle. And of course the band, rose gold polishing down the middle. And then satin, kind of a brushed satin finish on the yellow gold links on the side. Just a breathtaking. I mean, this watch is just, it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but I mean, I can go with these two to be my favorites, but I have to say, I mean, I don't know, I think this is really my all-time favorite. If I had to choose one, the Grand Arsenal is just, it's an amazing watch. It's so cool looking, and it's big. I mean, it's massive. Let me show you a little bit more there. You can see the rose tone pushers, all screw down and stuff like that. A little bit about the movement on this watch. This one is, let's see here, powered by the 5030D quartz chronograph movement. I have several of these watches. Some of them have the same movement as in the Grand Arsenal I told you, the Z60 quartz chronograph movement, the Ronda. This one here is the Ronda 5030D. Let's see, and a lot of them have different, like I said, they make them in different movements. Some are automatic. I don't have any automatics because you pay a lot more for the automatic Invictas. I have a lot of automatic Androids, but it's okay, you know. Just make sure when you have these watches, a good point to bring up is that, I know it sounds kind of weird, but when you actually have the watch, you'll notice my second hand is not moving. On chronograph watches, when the second hand is moving, your chronograph is moving. So by stopping the chronograph function, you stop the actual hand. Then you have your other second hand, which you can see here, is moving right up here. Okay. And so the watch is still on. It's still keeping time, but your large hand isn't moving, so the chronograph is off. So you're saving on battery life. Because what I don't want to do is in a year have all my batteries fail and then have to go and spend all the money getting batteries. And I've never actually changed the battery in Invicta. A lot of folks say, hey, can you show us how to change the batteries? When that time comes, I will put up videos on how to do it and how to do it properly. Because you don't want to, I'll do it on one of the cheaper Invictas that I have. And if I feel like it's going to be a problem where I'm not going to be able to put it back together again, as far as the seal in the back, because these are designed to be dive watches. Although I don't dive with them, I don't really get them wet. I want them to still be functional, and you don't want to disrupt that seal. And then if you do get it wet, get water in it. So no matter what I post, I'll make sure that you guys know whether I was able to do it or not, and if it was done by myself, that's done properly. Okay, this one here, as far as model number, is again, it's the Invicta Reserve 63mm Grand Arsenal watch. Let's see, I already said the size, 63mm, 18mm in thickness, okay, and 9¼ inches in length. So if you have really large wrists, this comes with a lot of slack, so you're going to be able to wear this. 30mm in width, 660 feet of water resistance, and this one here is the 16027 model number if you're looking for it. Right now, this was out there for a while, and when I got it from Invicta Outlet because nobody else had it. I didn't know if it was coming back, and then next thing you know, I think Shop HQ went ahead and got them, and then they were selling them for like $289, which is what I paid for one supposedly to be scratched. I never found any defects on this one. Works great. It's almost like a perfect watch. So I'm not sure. Again, like I said, you can have good luck with Invicta Outlet also, but just be careful, because your disappointment kind of sucks when you get something, you wait for shipping and handling, you finally get it. Then you get something bad, you gotta send it back, then you gotta wait to get your money, and then hope to find it again. So just be careful, that's all. And like I said, go to my website, click those links, that'll take you to reputable sellers. What else about this watch here? You have your Flame Fusion crystal, all the standard Invicta stuff that I don't really need to mention. Most importantly here, let's do a little side-by-side comparison here so you can see the size difference. They're very, very similar. Both massive watches. Try to line it up perfectly. And you can see the front here, or the side. I mean, now you can see where the Grand Arsenal kind of gets its butt kicked, because look at how much bigger that Sea Hunter is. I mean, if you want a thick, chunky watch, that Sea Hunter's for you. Some of these ones come with an exhibition back. This one does not. I have, like I said, this is my favorite watch. I have 3 others of these here in different color combos. I have the all silver, and I'll do a video showing all of them eventually. I have the all silver, I have the two-tone yellow, gold, and silver, and then I have the rose, gold, and silver, and then of course naturally my go-to, the yellow and rose. Now, like I said, if they make this watch, which I hope they do, in a combination rose tone and silver, I mean, the best thing for this watch, if they could do it, would be to make it in a combination two-tone rose tone and yellow tone, full polish. I've never seen them make a Sea Hunter in full polish, but if they did, that would be amazing. But even just doing the color combo like this would be amazing. So let me go ahead and throw this one on the wrist here so you can see it. Then I'll throw them both on my wrist so you can see what they look like side by side on the wrist. Beautiful watch. And again, I have a 7-inch wrist. I think I've lost a little bit of weight because some of my watches are a little loose on me lately, so it might be a little under 7 inches. Because you can kind of see there's a little bit of play right now, and there wasn't before. This watch you can kind of get away with a little play. The Sea Hunter is so heavy. I mean, if you feel these side by side, the Sea Hunter is just a much heavier watch. And I haven't weighed it, and I will weigh it and put that information in there. I used to do that, but I just kind of keep forgetting to put the information on there. But it doesn't matter. This is what you came here to see, what that watch looks like on your wrist. Try to get the lighting a little different here. You can really see it. It does sparkle. Massive watch. And then let me go ahead and throw the Sea Hunter. I'm going to throw that on my other wrist here. Let's see if we can get it on. There we go. That fits. It's weird when you put a watch on a wrist you're not used to wearing, because once you start wearing these heavy watches, you kind of desensitize a little. And I never wear a watch on my right wrist, and man, I tell you, this thing just feels like a tank on here. So there you go. You can really see how large that Sea Hunter is. I mean, it's just an amazing watch. I mean, like I said, it's really difficult to pick a favorite. But, you know, if I have to pick a favorite, like I said, because I love gold, the rose and yellow gold, that's just for me. But as far as the size, I mean, that Sea Hunter is just, I mean, it really does kind of blow the Grand Arsenal away. I mean, it's just, like, when you look at it like that, not so much. But, I mean, it's just a chunky watch. It's just unbelievable. And I know I repeat myself a lot in these videos, but I'm just so passionate about the Invicta brand. Nobody else makes anything like this, you know? Nobody else makes these big watches. And, you know, like I said, they're not for everybody, but they are for me. Let me tell you. I'll try to get a little closer here for you. I was at a car dealership yesterday, and another comment. It popped out from under my coat there, and the guy was like, "Wow, that thing is beautiful. You know, what a watch." And that happens all day long at work. All day long, people comment. It's funny that when I wear like some of the smaller ones, like I have the Android Silverjet, a great watch for the money, unbelievable watch. Right now they're on a clearance. You can find them pretty cheap. You go to my website, Fat Cat Watches, click some links, check out the Android Silverjet. You can get that for a steal right now. Even that one's only like a 50mm. People are like, "Wow, that thing's huge," and I'm like, "Man, this is one of my small ones." You know, it's amazing how you desensitize. But there you go, folks. If you want, like I said before, these are the two biggest watches that Invicta makes. Some people have said, "Oh, check out this one. It's not the biggest." These are the two biggest. You will not find a bigger watch made by Invicta. The Grand Arsenal. They make this in a mid-size too, and they make this in not this particular one. They make the original Sea Hunter in mid-size. But you know what? Just if you're going after the Invicta brand, and let's say the Venom is a very popular one by Invicta. That's a beautiful watch too. But if you're going for the big watch thing, and you've been looking at Invictus for a while, or let's say you're like, "Gosh, you know, I have a couple Invictus, and I just want something bigger," because that's what happens. You do desensitize, and you know, you're looking to get something big, and maybe you're looking at a Venom. You know what? If you can find this particular watch, okay, if you can find this watch, which go to my website, check out the link, check it. It'll take you to the places selling them. If you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it over the Venom if you have to choose, because as far as being a big chunky watch, this is massive, and this is the biggest that Invicta makes, even over the Grand Arsenal. And I only say that because when I talk about the biggest watch, I'm taking into consideration also the thickness. Okay, now Invicta makes the Hydromax, which is 30mm thick, at 29 to be exact. This is 23, and remember, 19. So there they are, folks. Once again, with the model numbers, this is the Invicta Grand Arsenal 63mm. Let me look it up here again. 16027. This one here is the Invicta Sea Hunter, model number 18824. What I call the Sea Hunter 3, completely redesigned. Those are the two biggest watches Invicta makes. These are the two of my favorite watches by the Fat Cat Watch Collector. There are no two watches that I like more than these on this planet. And again, you have to take into consideration, I'm not some millionaire. You know, I can't go out and buy, you know, $20,000, $30,000 watches. And watches, I mean, it's amazing. What I love about watches is that you can get watches for $1, and you get watches all the way up to, like, you know, a couple $1 million. And it's just amazing, the spectrum there. And it's amazing how many people make watches. It's really cool. But for my taste, I love the big watches. These are the biggest watches made that I know of. I'm pretty sure this is almost the biggest watch in the world. If you look into maybe some of the old school dive watches by some companies other than Invicta, you might get your hands on one. They're extremely expensive. They're very basic, and but they might be a little bigger. The only other watch I've seen bigger than this watch is made by Diesel. It was the Granddaddy, and it wasn't really all that nice. And I have the Big Daddy already, and there's another video on that if you want to check that out. And that's a really cool watch too. That I got that before I got into the Invictas, and that's a big watch. But when you feel it side by side, it's almost like you're feeling like a. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a piece of junk. It's a nice watch, but when you feel an Invicta watch of the same price compared to, or maybe a little more, $100 more maybe, compared to some of the Diesel watches that, although are pretty cool faces they got on, and it was my go-to watch for a long time, there's no comparison. The weight of the Invicta watches, the quality you're getting for in some cases the same price. Like I think for my Big Daddy, I paid close to $300 for it. I paid about $300 for this one, and I mean, this is an amazing watch compared to that. So, you know, if you're even looking at the Diesel watches, I urge you to check out Invicta watches. But like I said, that again, I'm getting off on a tangent, but that Granddaddy was 70 millimeters, just the face, okay? But it was all black leather band, I think it had, and it didn't say much to me. It's just a big giant watch, and it didn't have any kind of character or any kind of real, detail. But you know, they were selling those things for $1,000. They sold them out as a limited edition run. Not gonna say back then when I was really into the Diesel watches I didn't think about it, but I'm glad I didn't, because I would never wear it. Alright folks, well there they are. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you like the videos. We've been getting a lot more subscriptions, a lot more people checking out the website. Go ahead and leave a comment, sign up at the website to keep keep yourself in the know on what's new and what's coming out. Invicta's got a lot of new watches coming out shortly. There's going to be a redesigned, a combination. One thing Invicta is doing lately is that they're combining different parts from different watches, and they have my coworker told me about I'm drawing a blank here. It's a hybrid. It's a combination between the Venom and the I'm drawing a real blank here, and the diver watch, the Russian diver, the Russian diver, and basically it's a Russian diver watch with a Venom bezel. Kind of cool looking. I'm not saying it speaks to me too much, but they're coming out with a lot more new watches. Hopefully they start doing color combos in this one. And again, subscribe to my channel, like the channel, share your comments. Go ahead and share my videos on posting boards. I've been trying to get involved in posting some of the videos and information on some of these forums, but some of the forums, one of the forum Watching Time actually kicked me off there, and I'm not sure if because a lot of people were checking out my videos, and then they go to my videos and they check out my site, and he's got a site, so he probably didn't want that competition there. I'm not even selling anything, so I don't really get it, but nonetheless, share my videos on there if you're part of that forum. People love them. People really appreciate the fact that you can see what it looks like on the wrist. And what else? Again, check out the website and leave your comments, all that stuff. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.